Okay, hello, good morning. Thank you for joining us today for our webinar, Online Assessment Tools. Our facilitator for this webinar is Professor Reina Ruiz. Reina, thank you so much for being with us today. Reina is a professor at UTEL Venezuela with vast experience in ELT and online teaching. She coordinates the program English for Talented Children, and she's currently the Vice President of Mentiso. As Reina delivers the webinar, you will have the chance to ask questions, so you can write your questions in the bar you have for that, and at the end of the webinar, Reina will answer the questions, okay? So Reina, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Welcome to this webinar. Thank you for being here. My name is Reina Ruiz. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, British Council, for the honor of being here, for this invitation to share with all of you some ideas on some of my experience with online assessment. Let's start with a simple poll. I want to know the audience. I want to know where you're from. So on the screen, I'm going to see a poll, and you just have to enter this poll and click on the map, and you're going to select the part of the world where you're from, okay? You just have to enter to pollev.com/Reina Ruiz 789, and you answer this question, okay? You just have to select the part of the map where you are watching this webinar from. I'm going to give 1 or 2 minutes to the audience to participate in this poll to see where you guys are from. Wow, we have some people from Argentina, here people from Brazil. Thank you very much for being here. Chile, excellent. Thank you. Thank you for being here. So wonderful. United States, I think. Okay, North America. We also have a lot of South America in the map. Brazil, again. Thank you very much for participating in this webinar. More people in the North of America. Excellent. Chile. Wow, we have people in Europe. That's awesome. Thank you for participating. Thank you for joining this webinar. Well, some people in the up north in America, some people in Colombia, Venezuela. We have a lot of people in South America. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for participating in this webinar. Today, we are going to talk about assessment. And well, first of all, I'd like you to participate using this pollev.com. I'm going to use it 4 more times, so you can stay tuned on that. This was the first time I was going to use it. Thank you very much for participating. It's great to know the audience. It's awesome to see where you guys are from and how we can connect through this tool, StreamYard. Thank you so much. Okay, more people in North America. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to continue with the presentation. And the first thing I want to do is to share with you the scheme for today's presentation. First of all, we are going to talk about principles of assessment. And after that, we're going to discuss a little bit about summative and formative assessment. And it's important to understand the difference and maybe balance the way we are going to use it in the online setting. And during this webinar, I am going to propose the use of some game-based formative assessment tools, such as Quizlet, Quizzes, and Kahoot. I I know maybe some of you already use this in your classes, but I hope that I can share with you a little bit of my experience so you see the way it can be used in the online assessment, that we can use it for formative assessment in this online environment. Later on in this presentation, I'm going to give you a short walkthrough in the uses of these tools. I want, maybe some people don't know how to create a quiz or how to create a task in these tools. So I'm going to take time to show how each of these tools work and how you can create an activity. And hopefully at the end of this presentation, we can participate in some activities using these tools, so you can also experience what your students are going to experience when they use these tools. I hope it's fun for you. I hope you enjoy it. And at the end of the presentation, I'm going to talk a little bit about my final thoughts and reflection about assessment on the virtual setting. That will be the closing of the webinar. Very good. Okay. When I was designing this presentation, I asked some of my colleagues what was that makes them more concerned about online assessment. And these were some of their concerns. For example, some of them said, well, I don't know if I should focus on grammar, accuracy, skills, language usage. What should I pay attention to when I assess online? Well, I believe that we need to focus more on the learning process. When we assess in the online environment, we need to think about this more like a process, a learning process, than just a result. And we're going to deep into that as we continue this webinar. And another concern was, are the students cheating? I mean, are they really doing the exercises? Are they really participating? How can I control that? Well, let me tell you, you cannot control that. I mean, there's no way to control everything. Not even when you're in the classroom, you can control everything. But there is a way to know if students are really learning. So you should focus more on giving students experiences to or missions to grow, to reinforce their learning process, rather than thinking if they are cheating or not. Because what you are giving them is opportunities to practice. And when you assign them tasks, activities in the online assessment or environment, you're going to see that they are going to have different opportunities, because most of these game-based tools are self-paced, student-paced. So they will maybe have to watch them or play with them different times. So it doesn't matter if they have to play a game different times until they feel more comfortable with the topic. So for me, in this concern, I would say that we are going to give them opportunities. How do I manage to measure learning online? I mean, how can I do that? Well, you should pay attention to the progress of students. I think when we assess, we are collecting evidence. So the assessment management is going to work like a cycle. We are going to measure the progress of students, but at the same time, it's going to give us feedback on the activities that we are using, if they really work, if they are effective for our students. And the last one was, how can I motivate students to focus on progress and not only on their marks? Well, the first thing that you need to know is that many teachers give more importance to the summative assessment than the formative one. And that's something that it's well known. And sometimes students, they really need that feedback. I mean, they need to have the mark, but we need to help them understand that the mission is to grow, the mission is to really learn, the mission is to be comfortable with the learning process, to be and be engaged, to be motivated, to actually participate and grow. So I think that as you apply these formative assessment tools, they're going to be more confident. They're going to trust you more because you're going to pass from a blame, punish perspective to a more, praise and also mission and assign mission to your students. So they are going to grow on the mission because they are going to be challenged to do it better and to have another opportunity in this matter. All right. Now, some of the assessment principles that I want to share with you, as I said before, the majority of the education settings are more shaped by evaluation experiences than assessment experiences. And this is something that I can highlight from my experience as an educator. I can say that this is true. But now, let's think about some of these questions. For example, what is the purpose of assessment? I mean, assessment helps us to have a constant, let's say, collecting of evidence of the progress of the students, and we focus on enhancing their learning process. But maybe when we think about evaluation, it's more like a judge of the progress. We are definitely giving just a mark, and there are no more opportunities. This is you. This is what defines you. And I think that maybe this is an opportunity for us to think about this and maybe analyze it from a different perspective. So now I want to share with you another poll. And now that you know how to use it, we're going to answer these questions using the poll as well. Okay? So the first question is, are evaluations normally stressful? How do students feel when we evaluate them? You can answer this poll. So are evaluations normally stressful or negative on students? Let's see what the audience have to say. What is your experience in this matter? What will be some responses? Yes, definitely. As you can see, I mean, we all agree that when we say, this is an evaluation, you have a negative impact. You feel like, oh, there is this chance. I'm not going to be able to do something more. I don't have any other opportunity, right? Yes. Okay, let's see the second question. The second question is, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when I say evaluation? Let's see what the audience have to say about this. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when I say evaluation? Let's see what are some of the responses of the audience. Well, so far, normally, scores, exercises, what else? Exams, tests, yes, exams, assessment. Yeah, normally when we say evaluation, people think of testing. And this is something that is it's stressful. It's something that people normally feel negative about, right? Yeah, progress, marks, quality, checking, verifying, thank you, judging, yes, abilities, yes, that's one of anxiety, yes, very good, grades. As you can see, the words that are larger are the ones that people are constantly repeating. Thank you very much for participating. This is wonderful to see what you think, that you can share with me also your experience and what you see, what you think about this. Thank you very much. Okay, my next question to you has to do with can actually, because somebody said measure, and that's great. Can actually evaluations measure students' knowledge and abilities? Do you think this is true? Evaluation truly measures what students know or their abilities? So the question is, evaluation truly measures what students know? Definitely not. Obviously, this is false. Well, the audience says that maybe it's true. Well, I think that it is false, that evaluation cannot really measure what students know or their abilities. Maybe it's evidence about our practice and about the tasks, about the activities, the efficiency of the activities that we are using. If we are differentiating learning, if we are giving opportunities to students, maybe that would be something that we can focus on when evaluating. Okay, thank you very much for participating in this one. We only have one more to go to continue and go back to the main presentation. And this is an open question. The question is, why do you think it is so difficult for teachers to focus in the process, focus on the process rather than the results? Why do you think it is so difficult? Why is it so difficult for teachers to focus on the process rather than the result? Why is it so difficult? Why is it so challenging for teachers? Let's see your responses. This is the last um, question. Lack of time, yes, definitely. Let's see what other people have to say. Time limitations, yes, I agree. Um, Still, result is more important. Yeah, teachers feel results are more important. Time constraints, yeah, I think we all agree that time affects this. Pressure to get results because they are used to traditional methods. Yeah, definitely, there is inheritance of traditional methods, school requirements, time constraints. Yeah, we all agree on time. Yeah, definitely. It's very difficult to focus on the process when you need to give results on time. And student education system is more, a mark is needed. Mhm. It is time consuming because of institutional pressure. Job may depend on grades or students. Yes, definitely. Because focusing on the process takes much more time. Wow, so many great insights and responses. I mean, yeah, we focus on content and not on skills. Lack of freedom in institutional programs. Yeah, wow, thank you so much for participating in this poll. I mean, it's so enriching and invigorating to see all your comments and your opinion on this. Yes, definitely. It has to do with time. It has to do with constraints of our education system. It has to do with the inheritance of this traditional view, the number of students. Yes, yes, very good. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for participating. Um, well, this is very important. I mean, to think about these aspects, it's super important on assessment because we need to understand where we come from to be able to address this pandemic crisis with a different perspective, to give students opportunities to move into a more formative assessment environment. But how are we going to do this? Because if it were very difficult in the past, well, it is also difficult now when we're thinking about online assessment. When we are working on a virtual environment, it is quite difficult too. But now that we are not close to our students, we need to think of more opportunities to focus on the process of learning rather than only on the result. Because we are working with our students and we are educating them to be better citizens and to be also um, good at what they do. So we need to focus on the process and not only on the result. And when we do this, we attempt to give students the opportunity to grow as students. And also we are making a difference between the dichotomy of the blame and the praise. Normally, when we think about the praise, is when a person gets a good grade. But when somebody gets a bad grade, we need to think about giving this person opportunities or a mission to grow to reinforce their abilities. Our vision of learning showcases the importance we give to summative formative assessment. So, do assessment tools only measure students' progress or the effectiveness of our classes? As I said before, we need to focus on how to assess also the activities that we are selecting for our students. Does formative assessment provide timely feedback for both student and teacher? Yes, definitely. When we use formative assessment tools, we are going to have instant feedback on the effectiveness of the activities that we are using. Now we need to think about the possibilities of our students. We need to think about the learner situation. What are they capable of on the matters of internet connection, accessibility? I mean, what are we doing regarding this? What are we thinking about when we plan activities for our students? We need to think about what's possible for them, that our assessment is fair and is reliable for them, and we need to make a difference between the value and the importance that we give to formative or summative assessment in this matter. My proposal is to go into more formative assessment activities rather than summative, so students have more opportunities, because now that we are working online, they will have to work on self-paced and student-paced activities. So you need to focus on giving them the opportunities they need to be successful. My proposal to you is to focus on an academic successful system that allows students to be, yes, successful in your class. Now, what is formative assessment? Well, formative assessment, according to Pomham, is an evidence-based instructional decision making that is going to help you take better decisions for future activities that you are going to implement. It is going to allow you to assess the process. It is part of the learning process. It gives you constant and instant feedback, and it helps you enhance learning. It helps you make better decisions for future actions as teachers. And it can happen in a formal setting or informal during small activities that you are going to plan for your students. And it is mainly qualitative. It focuses on qualitative assessment. Now, I want to share with you an approaching to assessment. First of all, we need to think about assessment as collecting evidence. This is a tool to collect evidence on students' progress and also on the effectiveness of the class, as I said before, the effectiveness of the activities that we are using for our students. Um, I think that right now we need to assess the usage of language, not what's right or wrong. I think that we need to uh, motivate students to use the language, to learn the language, and not to focus on the things that they cannot do. Maybe if we focus on what they really can do good, we are going to motivate them to continue learning and to continue growing. I think we need to focus on learning and not in the control of the class. This is something that we need to think about. And also, I suggest that we apply task-based focus and problem-solving self-paced activities that are going to help students, are going to guide students in this process on online assessment. I think that it's very important that we inform students about our expectations. I know that normally teachers share a program with students and an evaluation plan is good, but also I think we need to be as detailed as possible with students on what we are looking for. I think we need to be, at these times, we need to be more specific on what we are assessing in each activity. For example, we have a goal for our class or maybe for a unit of learning. And if we're going to apply more formative assessment activities, we need to give to each one a more specific structure so students know what we're looking for, that they feel free on knowing what they are being assessed about. Not only the content, but what are you looking for? So it's very important that you inform students on this matter. And also, it's important that we give students self-assessment space and a can-do reflection on what they are progressing on the content and also on the class. I think it's very important that we give students not at the end of the semester or at the end of the module or at the end of the school year. I think at the end of each class, we should have self-assessment activity so students can also know that they are responsible for their learning process, that they know that they have a mission in the class, which is to grow and to enhance their learning process. So I think that this learning management system is very useful to understand how to move into a more formative assessment environment in this area. I think it's important to understand that we are aiming with the online assessment, we need to aim to the 4 C's. The 21st century skills are very important at this time. And now that we were forced to work online, our students need to reach these 4 C's. This is something that they are going to develop in your classes. So I think that you need to consider these 4 C's when you assess your students, when you create activities for them to participate, for them to be assessed. First of all, critical thinking, finding solutions to problems, creativity, thinking outside the box, collaboration, working with others. There are many opportunities for students to collaborate with other students online, and you can give them those possibilities. And also the communication, how to communicate effectively in problem solving. So each one of them, we can give a space during our classes and our assessment. And my suggestion today is that our assessment can have 2 stages, okay? For example, we can assess our students offline and we can assess them online. I think that we should create a space where students can go before the class and they can participate, engage in different activities, different games, different tools that are going to be more driven into convergent questioning, like, for example, yes no questions, true or false, filling the gaps, exercises. They can be oral exercises, written exercises, pronunciation exercises, listening exercises that can take place before an online assessment, before an online experience. Also, you can assign the group collaborative projects offline. This is something that is going to help you give students the necessary time they need to work on these activities. And in the second stage, I propose to have online assessment that are driven to divergent critical thinking questions, open-ending questions in the online environment. If the offline and the online assessment are connected, our students are going to be able to explore new ways to express themselves, new ways to express their ideas. They're going to be more comfortable on the online assessment if they have something to grasp offline. So I think it's a very good opportunity to use the flipped classroom version or model to apply to assessment activities offline and online. Also, another activity that is very useful are reports on the online assessment. Bloom's taxonomy also shows us how we can apply these two stages. What I propose for the first stage are the low levels of thinking and the higher levels of thinking for the second stage. For example, if an activity has to do or a task has to do with only remembering or only understanding the topic or applying the topic, well, you can have this on the offline assessment activities, and then you can have more deeper, higher order of thinking on the second stage, which is analysis, evaluation, and creation. Okay, so my proposal is that you organize your assessment online into these two stages, and that you give a formative vision to it, so students have enough opportunities, that you differentiate activities that the students will feel more comfortable with, and that they will feel empowered to be successful in your class. Now I want to show you some of the tools that I maybe you know how to use, but I'm going to share some of my experience with these tools and some of the characteristics. We are going to see Kahoot, Quizlet, and Quizzes today. Well, we're going to start with Quizlet. Quizlet is an app that helps you create flashcards. It's an online learning tool where students can use these flashcards to study, and it gives you different opportunities to learn a topic. Okay, to use Quizlet, students have to have emails. So for me, I think it would be useful if you work with students that are teenagers. Like if your students are children, like young learners, maybe it's going to be difficult to access because they have to have their parents' email. But if they are teenagers, maybe they're old enough to have an email, and they can enter the Quizlet activity on their own pace. You just assign these activities to them. You can share them on the virtual online classroom, and it's easy to set up. It's very intuitive, actually easy to use, easy to share to students. But the only thing is that they need to have an email account. It allows teachers and students to create these amazing flashcards, and students can review material and self-assess learning on their own, because it gives you, when you create the flashcards, it automatically creates quizzes and different games that students can go through to learn the activities. They can practice reading, writing, listening. So it's very self-paced learning focus for students. It's suitable for online and offline tasks, and it can be used as a fun formative assessment tool. On the quizzes, this quizzes is a game-based assessment tool that allows you to conduct a student's paced formative assessment in a fun and engaging way for students on all ages. It's very important to say that in this one, you share with students a PIN code, so students don't need to have an email to access the game, to access the activity. And it's a very fun formative assessment tool. Students enjoy it very much. Students can have instant feedback on what they're doing, and the program gives them different opportunities to redeem themselves if they made a mistake or something like that. And also, if they made a mistake, the teacher can see it, but the student does not have the pressure that that the teacher is watching him. So these are activities that students can do on their own, and that are going to be really fun for them, and they can play it multiple times. It allows you to have multiple players, which is very nice. You can assign this, you can play live. It has a quiz editor because you can customize your quiz, or you can select other quizzes. In this platform, you have a lot of quizzes that you can use not only to learn English, but to learn any subject. I mean, virtually anything you can learn using this. And you can use quizzes that have been created by other teachers too. You can do that if it suits what you are doing. I mean, your topic and your content and the activities your students, if it's suitable for you, you can use them too. And it allows reports on students' progress. And also, something very positive about quizzes is that it integrates with Google Classroom. In the quizzes website, you are going to find a place where you can connect your activities to Google Classroom and assign these activities to children, and they can do it from the classroom, which is awesome. And the last one is Kahoot. This is a completely free multi-device classroom response system for creating and administering unique game-like quizzes. This is very good to empower educators, and it captivates students. Students really like Kahoot because they can play games, and it's super fun. They enjoy using Kahoot a lot. Kahoot works a little bit similar to quizzes because you also have to share a PIN code with your students, and it's really fun for them to participate. But if you are using Kahoot in an online class, students have to read the questions from your screen. I mean, the class screen is going to show the questions. Different than in quizzes, that the students can watch the questions and answers from their device. As you can see in the picture, students, this is what students see in their on their devices. They only see the squares and the colors, and they select the correct answer. But I think that maybe this can be used more on the online class. Obviously, you can assign this, you can challenge students to participate offline too, but maybe it would be great to have online activities with these tools so students can compete and participate, and they will enjoy it very much. Okay, I like this platform because it allows you to add videos, which is something that does not happen with the other ones, with Quizlet and quizzes. In the other ones, you have pictures, you can add images, but in this one, you can add YouTube videos. You can embed, YouTube videos to the game, and students can watch the video, watch with subtitles. They can listen to it many times and participate in the game. Okay. Well, in this section, I want to give you a very brief walkthrough on these assessment tools on how you can create an activity. And then we are going to play. I think that you are all going to participate, and that I'm excited to see your participation on the games. And the first one that I want to show you is Kahoot. You enter to the website and you create your own account. You have to have an account as a teacher, and once you have your profile, it's very simple and straightforward. You just click on create, and then this window is going to appear. You click on new Kahoot. Then if you have the free version, you are just going to have two choices, which is quiz and true and false. But if you have the premium version, that I think it's like $10 a month or $15 a month, It's going to allow you to do other types of questions and puzzles, slides, and polls. But I mean, to work on the lower levels of the Bloom's taxonomy pyramid, we can work on these activities for the offline assessment that I proposed. And then you have to start adding questions. For example, you add the question, and then you are going to have here you can add a picture, you can add the answers, and you have to say which one is the correct answer. You can adapt the time and points that you're going to give to the activity, and then you click done. Once you click done, the game is going to be ready. It is going to show you the game in a window, and then you assign this game to students. You can assign them to teach them to play a live game together with students in a class, an online class, or you can assign them to study at home. Okay? So you can assign a challenge to students using Kahoot. And once you do that, it is going to give you two choices. They can play classic, like one player versus one player because it's a competition, or they can work on team mode. They can collaborate in the game. When you assign this game, it's going to give you a code that you share with students. They don't have to have an email. They just enter to Kahoot on Kahoot it, the website, and they enter this code, and they can participate on your game. And you are going to have instant responses of their participation, which is great. If you want to create a task in quizzes, the same, you just have to register on the website and create your account. As you can see, you are going to have different quizzes and games that are ready, that have been created by many teachers around the world. They are free to use, and they are there. If they are useful for you, you can use them, you can adapt, you can customize them. You can use one part of those quizzes to create a new quiz. So you feel free to explore, navigate, play around with this tool. So you click on create, and then you are going to write a question. As you can see, you can look from quizzes, and you can also write your own. This is an opportunity for you to create your own quiz. It gives you 5 different choices rather than Kahoot that only gives you 2 choices because it's a free version. In this free version, you have 5 opportunities, 5 different types of questions that you can ask students. For example, in this case, I selected multiple choice, but you can also make a poll, open questions, fill in the blanks, and also checkbox. And in this case, for example, I asked or I instruct to select the daily routine that describes the picture. So in the picture, they are brushing their teeth. So you have to select which one is the correct answer. Then once you have created your questions or your tasks, it is going to appear to you in this presentation. For example, in this case, the game was daily routine, and then you just have to play live or assign to students. You can challenge students to play, or you can play live with all your students, and then you select classic mode, and it is going to appear this box where students can join myquiz.com on this website, and it will appear also the pin code that they have to use. It is a bit different when we use Quizlet because they have to have an account to be able to play, but it is easy to create a task. You just create, and then if you write, for example, this one, I was making a task on vocabulary for children. And well, if you write the word, it will give you a lot of options on images that do not have copyright, and they are approved to use by Quizlet, so you don't have to search for the image on Google and then download and then upload. You just select the ones that they have and you continue. So in this case, I was working on vocabulary and also progressive. So when you click on the image, it says t-shirt. And then when you click, it will appear the image and whatever you write. Like in this case, I wanted to practice this part. Students are going to see this. For example, it says flashcards, write, also try, combine, gravity. So all these modes are games that they can use to practice the flashcards, okay? And some of them allows them to listen to the pronunciation of the expressions written in the flashcards, which is very nice. Something that other tools do not have and you can take advantage of. And when you select combine, it's a game to match the picture with the word. For example, here I'm wearing a, and I just have to select wherever t-shirt is, and it's going to disappear. And it has time, so students feel very excited to work on this one. On the section or the mode of write, for example, I am wearing a, and I complete with the word, the vocabulary, which is dress in this case. So you can practice writing, and also you can practice listening because on this side you have the word, which is pants, and then you have to click here and you are going to listen to this word being pronounced and you have to write the word. It's an opportunity to practice and to, let's say, use the language, practice listening, and practice also writing. Okay, let's play. The first one that we are going to play is Kahoot. Okay, I'm going to assign this a game to you, and you let's play this one with animals, which is the one from the presentation. Um, I'm going to show you the pin code. For example, here I can click on play, and as I said before, it can give you the opportunity to teach or assign to kids. So since this is a virtual class, let's teach. We're going to see if internet allows us to do this. It's taking a little bit, but please bear with me. Let's play classic. I'm going to show in some seconds the pin code so you can access. While this loads, you can go to kahoot.it and to play with me, play this game. Okay, this is the pin of the game, so you can start entering. I'm waiting for players, so go ahead and try to enter. Join at www.kahoot.it, or if you have the app, you can join from there. This game is quite simple because it's only on vocabulary, but it will be a fun experience. Thank you. I have one player. I'm going to give 1 more minute to have more players, 4 players, 5 players. Excellent. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining. Thank you very much. All right. Okay, I'm going to wait just 15 more seconds, and then I'm just going to start the game because I want to show you also quizzes, how it works, okay? So sorry, I'm going to start. So we have animals and actions. Let's see. So as you can see, I can actually see students responses and participation on the quiz. And you can see that it has a timer. You can set the timer for more time also. Okay, very good. Let's move to the next question. Okay, congratulations on this player. Next question. Wonderful, thank you. So as you can see, you have a timer, which is really great to have in the class. And you can set this time for 20 seconds, 30 seconds. In this case, I set the timer for 30 seconds. Excellent. Thank you for participating. Good job. Okay. Okay, we have a winner here. Next question. I only designed 4 questions, so it will be a short activity for the audience. I'm glad you're enjoying this. Thank you for participating. Wonderful. So as I told you before, it allows you to have images and videos, which is wonderful for students. They love it. Thank you very much. Okay, the crazy one is winning now. This is the last question. When we this one is a YouTube video, okay, about cheetahs. As I told you before, you can embed YouTube videos, which is awesome. Cheetahs are super fast. Thank you so much for participating. Wonderful. Thank you. Oh, wow. Congratulations. Very good. Okay. Now we are going to, I'm going to show you, I want to share with you the experience of quizzes. Also on this one, let's play this one with the daily routines because it's also 4 questions. I made it only for this activity, so it will be something simple that we can play live. And also in this one, you are going to receive a pin code and you enter. Okay, we are going to play the classic mode and we are going to continue. We have only 4 questions. It's going to be super fast and easy. I am going to wait for you to enter as soon as, yes, here we have the code. Go ahead, enter joinmyquizzes.com, and you have the pin code is 026329. I am going to take some seconds to wait for you to enter and participate on this quizzes activity. Okay, I'm going to give you maybe 10 seconds. If we have at least 5 players on Join My Quiz, we can try using this one. Yes, we have 1 participant. Let's see, let's wait for more participants. Very good, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to give you 2 or 5 seconds to have more participants so you see how it goes. Okay. Okay. 5 more seconds. I'm glad that you are practicing with me and that you get to see how it works. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to click on start because of time constraints. I know that you're trying maybe internet. So in 2 seconds, I'm just going to start. All right, let's start. So sorry. I just click on start and it should start pretty soon. So you're going to see how it presents the game and the way students are going to see it when they start playing. It has music. It's really fun. As you can see, the teacher can see what students are doing and their progress. Here I have all my students and how they are participating in the game, which is awesome. It's really cool. I have a lot of participants. So it's going to give you the answers to each of the questions. And at the end, it is going to show you the progress of students on this game. Wonderful. Okay, we already have one person who finished the game. Well, two people, three. Excellent. Very nice. As you can see, it's very easy to use and students get instant feedback on what they're doing. They can get, if you made a mistake, they get a redemption question that allows them to participate again. Wonderful. I'm going to click on end the game. In 2 seconds, I'm going to click on end the game. So you can go back later and explore this if you want. Wonderful. I want to show you the Quizlet platform. Okay, I'm going to end the game. So it gives you what was presented and you can evaluate what students did or who in the group had a problem. Well, obviously you this activity. Okay, the last one that I want to show you is the last one I want to show you is the one with Quizlet. This is the presentation of Quizlet. This is the activity that I was telling you about on the presentation. For example, this is the flashcard. When you click on the flashcard, it gives you the other side of the flashcard, and you can use it for any topic. I mean, in this case, I was talking about clothing and present progressive. Okay, so I was including some vocabulary. But when this on the mode of flashcards, but if you click on combine, it gives you the opportunity to play a game. This is different than the other one because students have to enter with to be able to play. It's not like the other one that you can give them a code and see when they are playing. In this case, this is more self-paced. Um, Students can just explore and play, have fun. So you connect the ones that are similar and they disappear. Since we have a few words, it's super fast. You can play again. You can explore other parts of the platform. For example, I want to show you this area where you can find a quiz that is automatically generated by this system. When you this in English should be testing. It says probar in Spanish, but I think in English should be testing. When you click here, You can instruct students to go to this part when they have finished studying the material, and they are going to find a quiz, okay, where they have to write, where they have multiple choices, and also they have true or false. They have different options, okay? So you can take this quiz. This is what this does. And also there is another one, as I told you before, that you listen to what it says, and then you have to write. So you practice listening. This one, you can see the sound icon here. So in this section, it is going to pronounce the words for you, and you are going to write. So it's super fun, easy to use. Students are going to love it, and you're going to scaffold learning for them. And the assessment is going to be more successful if they have more opportunities to practice and to learn on their own, on their own pace. So in this case, you are going to listen. You listen and then you write the word. Okay, once you write the word, it is going to give you the correct answer. In this case, the internet is a bit slow, so it doesn't appear. But whenever you write the word, it appears as correct. All right. Well, it's time to go back to our presentation. It was wonderful to share with you all these tools and how they work. Thank you so much for being there and for bearing with me all this time. And these tools, as you can see, can be used to enhance listening, reading, speaking, writing. They can be used for receptive skills and also for productive skills. You can design quizzes, you can assign them to students, you can start conversations, discussions. So you just have to explore them and to give them an opportunity. To summarize them, well, they're all easy to use, they're fun, they're engaging, they can be accessed from any device. They are all used to create quizzes, and they all provide fast, right or wrong feedback on students' devices and also on the class screen. And the only thing that I can say is that quizzes is the only one that integrates with Google Classroom, which is something that it's important to say. And Quizlet allows you to manage learning. Students have the opportunity to have their own pace and also to assess their learning process. To finish and conclude this webinar, I want to share with you some reflections about assessment. My first suggestion would be to change the mindset and assess for academic success. Academic success means scaffolding and giving students opportunities to be successful in the class. Give them different ways, different opportunities to be successful. And with these game-based tools, you can do that. Switch to a more formative assessment environment. Do not be afraid to use game-based tools for assessment. Your students will love them and they will thank you for it. And focus on questioning in a deeper level based on Bloom's taxonomy in the online environment, not on the offline. Leave the offline setting more for activities that are on the lower levels of thinking, like remembering and understanding, applying, and leave the deeper thinking for the online activity where students are going to be more comfortable if they had already practiced the basis to be successful on that. And create an assessment system where students can be successful and enjoy learning. Focus on language usage, not only on grammar, and establish an assessment cycle that allows you to incorporate needed improvement and changes. Okay? So that you use these tools to assess also the activities and the effectiveness of the activities that you are applying in your assessment. Thank you very much for being here. This is a section of the questions. But before we start that, I want to answer one question for the audience. Some people were asking about certificates. So if you are wondering about your certificate, you can go to the website, British Council of Americas, and there you are going to find all these webinars. I think production is going to show in a minute the banner with this website where you can find all the webinars. Yes, there it is. In the banner, you can see the website that you can access, and you are going to find all the webinars, all the certificates. You just have to edit your certificate. You're going to find all the webinars. You can watch them. If you didn't watch the first one, you can go enter and watch this webinar, and then you are going to be able to download your certificate and you add your name. Thank you, Professor Juana. This is the end of the presentation.
Okay, thank you so much, Reina. Now we have let's check our questions. But it's been very interesting. You have taken us to some principle of assessment, and we have seen how assessment being part of the learning process leads us, to make decisions and sometimes change our practice if necessary, which is really important. We have also seen some of the platforms we can use as Quizless, quizzes, and Kahoot, which are very interesting. I mean, in the sense that students have fun and you as teachers have the opportunity to assess them. So they play, they learn, and then you can see how the progress is. And the importance of combining offline and online assessment, because it helps students to feel confident in doing that. So more than questions, we have many comments here, but let's see some of the questions we have. With quizzes, is it possible to send the code before, or is it like a Kahoot that students see the code at the moment they will play?
Well, you can send the code in advance, but the code has a validity time. For example, if you create the code 24 hours in advance, it's going to disappear. So when you create a new, when you assign the game again, it's going to give you a different code. It's not going to be the same. So I suggest that you can send the code in advance, but if you are going to use it the same day. So if you're going to assign the game for that day, you do it like that. Not like, 24 hours in advance, it's going to disappear. Okay. If you are playing live, you have two modes, play live and also assign. If you assign the code, it's not going to disappear, but if you play live, it's going to disappear.
Yeah. There was an issue here. Someone is asking, how do you deal with these issues? For instance, I couldn't see the images in the first game.
Couldn't see the images where?
Could you hear the question, Reina?
I didn't. Would you mind repeating, because I lost the last part?
Yeah. How do you deal with these issues? For instance, I couldn't see the images in the first game and the code didn't work in the second one.
This was something that happened while we were playing.
Yes.
I don't understand the question. What was the problem?
Yeah.
When the person was playing, he couldn't see the image.
In the first game, and in the second, the code didn't work.
Okay. Well, as I said before, students. Oh, okay. Okay. Now I understand the question. So when you have this type of trouble, it's important. Well, first of all, you should know that we were practicing. And maybe I should have asked like, do you all have a code, whatever. Like in a normal situation, the teacher has to make sure that all the students are able to enter, that they don't have any problem. Remember that normally they are in a virtual setting or in a virtual environment, like an online class or a virtual classroom, and the students can ask those questions. In this webinar, I didn't see your question, maybe you wrote it and I didn't see it live, but in a normal situation, the teacher can have access to this information and he can help the student to work on the problem, okay? If it doesn't work, it can be assigned to the student as homework, and the student can also see it when he has better internet connection or when the situation is better on that matter.
Okay.
I think
Can we
that's what you can do.
access? Yes. Can we access listening and speaking through these platforms?
I think you can assess listening. Yes, you can assess listening on quizzes, and also you can assess, yeah, the three of them. You can assess listening on quizzes, Quizlet, and Kahoot. But I don't think you can assess speaking because it doesn't give you an opportunity to talk. The professor can record audios for the students, but there is no question or item that allows students to record themselves. So I don't think it would work for speaking in the game, but also I think that it can help you build up for the speaking activity in the online class. Okay, because it's going to scaffold to do the activity later.
Okay, okay. Well, thank you, Reina. Thank you so much. Well, we have come to an end. On behalf of the British Council, I would like to thank you all for attending this set of webinars that they were intended, to our English teacher community as a way to give them or to give you some ideas and to share, some of our ideas to support your pedagogical practice, on these uncertain times. I would like to especially thank the people that have made this possible. They've been working really hard and supporting us. Thank you, Graham Stanley. Thank you, Elisa Ruiz, for making this possible. And well, thank you all. We hope to see you in our next activity, hopefully soon. Okay. Bye.